Sometimes you want to express yourself by telling people what to do. Sometimes you want to creatively, actually with your hands, you want to create something. Sometimes you want to say, so it's a very together process.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं भावना सोमाया और आज के हमारे रंगमंच एपिसोड में हमारी गेस्ट है राइटर, डायरेक्टर, एक्टर एंड फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम दिव्या जगदाले. Divya, we are meeting here today because you are having a festival of Shiv.
Yes.
You dedicated this festival to him. It's a tribute to him. I want to tell you that this has been a tough year for you for many reasons. And how is it to be going through what you are and putting this festival together?
Well, it is difficult, but it is also helping me move forward.
Yes.
It is helping me process my grief in a very creative way.
Yes.
And I'm quite enjoying it in the sense that everything is very accentuated within me. So there is a lot of sadness, there is a lot of grief, there is a lot of pain, there is a lot of trauma, but there is also a lot of love, there is a lot of exploration, there is a lot of wanting to know what is going to happen. So this is doing understanding. I'm also getting to know Shiv in a different light now because उसके साथ 25 साल जब मैं साथ थी तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें एक्सप्लोर हुई, जैसे the life that I lived with him creatively through art and drama, through our son, whatever we had to go through.
Just, I will interrupt you for a minute. So, with profound grief, I would like to say that Divya lost her son to a terminal illness, and later on she lost her husband, Shiv, an actor, writer, director, also to a terminal illness.
Yeah, something that happened came very suddenly, and
maybe after the son went.
Well, that was the chronology of it.
Yes, and now everybody has a different way of overcoming their grief and pain, and I think by her choosing to do this tribute to her husband, it is a kind of a catharsis.
Yes, in a way it is, yes. And it's also bringing things together, even though I feel that externally it may seem to other people that I'm torn apart, but I do feel very collected and very together because I have the art with me, I have the creativity with me, and I have this understanding that was given to me even before all this happened, So I'm quite relieved that I have a tool with me with which I can play and bring myself together again. So for you, Shiv is also about understanding Shiv not just through me but through the eyes of many other people who worked with him.
Can you dissect and tell us that what is this entire package about? How many days and how many performances?
This festival for you, Shiv, is for 4 days, and in these 4 days I'm doing performances of his plays, a few of his plays, and also reading some of his plays, and I'm also visiting an old film which he had made which did not get released. It's called Cha Cha Cha, which was also based on the play that he had written, Irani Cafe, which we are doing now, which we are opening again with new actors. So I'm showing that film. It's going to be a one-time screening. It is an unfinished work, but I personally at this point I felt that it may be unfinished because it didn't get a release, but it was finished till a certain point, so more like the upward spiral is a downward spiral from another perspective, or the downward spiral is an upward spiral from another perspective. So I feel that till that point it was complete, and it was Shiv's take on the film, a director's cut, creative cut. So the film just perfectly makes sense. It just doesn't look as beautiful as we are used to seeing films on Netflix and all these, such a superior experience you have. So it's not that kind of a film, but if we want to study it, and if we know that there was a play that was written, and then a film was written, and then again a play is being done. So it's a good study of a creative process of a writer, especially.
You were the wife of Shiv. You are also an actor. And now when you're revisiting his work, some maybe you performed with him, some maybe you were not there in that frame. How are you feeling? How are you viewing him? With a certain distance, or are you completely wrapped in emotions?
No, there is a lot of distance. I'm strong enough to understand that I am revisiting it not just for myself, but for many other associations of his. So I don't want to come across as a broken packet in the middle of all this. So I know that because chronologically his passing was 8 months back, and and as soon as he passed, Vivan Shah and Ramu Ramanathan and some other people we all decided that we are going to publish his work. And we just got very wrapped into that, and that was just somehow helping not just me, everyone, to come to terms with the fact that he's gone. I also realized that he had a lot of creative associations which were very complete and in-depth with people, and they too wanted to share their experiences for Shiv in this tribute. So even though I may be just one person in the spotlight, I know that there are many people who are feeling the same things as me creatively. So that is why this endeavor makes sense. Just not from my perspective, but this director you saw crossing right now is a very dear friend of Shiv's. Not just as a friend, friendship was arrived at a certain point, but because they went through a creative process, through the journeys of plays and long associations and political sensibilities and all kinds of things that जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं ना कि निचोड़ दिया किसी चीज ने आपको, तो हम लोग शिव के साथ बहुत सारी चीज़ों के साथ गुजरे हैं, तो ये ट्रिब्यूट इज़ फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस इन दैट सेंस.
आज जब उनका काम आप रिविजिट करते हो तो हाउ वुड यू चैनलाइज इट और रेट हिम? वाज ही अ बेटर डायरेक्टर, अ बेटर राइटर और अ बेटर एक्टर? और इफ यू हैव टू रेट इट, what would be number 1, number 2, number 3?
Actually, that would be very difficult because I think these mechanisms of being the actor, writer, director, somehow it comes fitted in your personality. You just have to creativity. You just have to break it into few pieces and say, okay, this part is writing, this part is acting, this part is direction. But I think it's all one. Sometimes you want to express yourself by telling people what to do. Sometimes you want to creatively. Actually, with your hands, you want to create something. Sometimes you want to say, so it's a very together process in that sense. So I would say that Shiv had a side to him which was very reserved and very internal, and that he believed in educating himself a lot. So that extended itself to the writing process a lot. And till a certain phase in his life, he was very wanting to. He acted till the last few days of his passing. So I think when he wanted to express himself that way, then the work would come, and he would act, and then he would direct all the plays on the best. In my opinion, his best work was happening on stage. His best lines were coming out. He was so good with people, even though he was a very quiet person. He was very good with bringing people together and speaking very little, and yet he was quite magnetic in that sense, So, there are people now who tell me things about Shiv which I wonder, this is what you remember about Shiv, So it's just something very small, but it had a deep effect on that person at that point of time. So I think he was just that kind of a person, There were many facets to him.
There was also a musician in him. He learned piano. First, his son used to learn.
Yeah, he used to learn. Jahan was a child, so he did many classes. He did, acting classes, and we went to learn piano from a friend of ours. Her children were at Besant Montessori School, and she's also, Naila Masood is her name, and she also runs an NGO. So we were like part of the extended family, so he had musical sensibility, but he was not a singer, or he didn't play music. But he was very interested in his son, exploring the arts in that way.
Losing a spouse leaves a vacuum. When you lose a spouse who is also your co-actor and your co-performer, your co-thinker and your co-idea generator, it leaves a bigger vacuum. When you speak about positivity and wanting to be all collected, how do you see aiding the artist in you to conquer the situation in the coming years to follow?
I think creativity for me is going to be a distraction. I don't have an answer for this, really, but it is going to be my number one distraction, so that I don't immerse myself or go down into a spiral. So I think my art and creativity, my writing, my acting, whatever I do from now onwards is going to be things where I preserve, I consciously try and preserve myself as a person, and yet allow Shiv and my son Jahan to remain around me. And somehow I feel that they are there with me. It's like their work, their thought processes, what they would like to do. I'm fascinated by things which the filmmakers which my son was interested in, things that he used to explore, the books that he used to read. They are all there with me. So I know that they are gone now. So I have accepted it, but I have their art, their creativity is still there with me, because my house was full of that. It was always people in my house, even on a bad day, even the day when there was no one. There was never no one in my house, even while this. My son had a long. He was first diagnosed when he was 10 years old. Of course, he lived a great life, no doubt about it. But somehow, with there is that saying that with great adversity also comes something even more amazing than the adversity. So along with the problem came many things which were actually solutions to the problem, and survival tools. My friends, my family, we explored so many new ideas and thoughts, and food and frolic, and we made so many new friends which were actually like 15-year-olds, my Jahan's age, and we got involved in their lives, and we helped them in so many ways, and they helped us in so many ways. So it was a magical time of my life also. It was not all that bad. But yes, if I talk about it to people, it's very overwhelming for people. But it's all right.
So in the coming year or days, what are the plays we can look forward to from you? As an actor or as a writer?
I actually, Bhavana ji, I don't know what is going to happen next year. I am looking forward to whatever comes my way. I need to finish this tribute and relook at a lot of things. Definitely there are things that I have shed from my system. So I don't look at work as, I can do anything, but it has to be the right thing, the right moment, the right timing to everything. And if that works out, I'm absolutely okay with everything. And of course, I have my theatre, I have my plays that I will continue to run and write. I have many thoughts and ideas which are already on paper, so I'll be looking to creatively, bring them out. So that's my plan, actually.
I'm extremely proud of you, and I love the way you are thinking and organizing your mind, and I wish you all the best, and you have my blessings.
Thank you.